Okay. All right. Okay. How y'all doing today, man? Hope y'all doing good, staying well, staying healthy, all that great stuff. Whew. Pretty tired, man. Pretty tired. Went out hooping, and I came back realizing I got a vid to do today. And I was like, well, I want to do that vid today. These are the moments. These sometimes are the moments to see if you can push through the tiredness to be great. I told y'all that I'll upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And it's Wednesday. I gotta do my part, man. I gotta do my part. I can't just be switching things up and go on days I feel like I said Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So despite me being tired, I'm doing this for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all tired, if y'all got any times when you tired, but you know you gotta do what you gotta do to be great, do what you gotta do to be successful, do it, man. Do it. We don't stay disciplined because we love to. We stay disciplined because we got to, man. Real talk. So here we are. You know what I'm saying? Today we are reacting to. I'm actually kind of interested in this video, but this is how the 3-point line is breaking basketball. Not much to say, but let's just get right into the video, man. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Do you remember the 1999 NBA playoffs? What about the 2019 playoffs? This chart shows every spot a player made a shot for both of them. In the 1999 playoffs, the Orlando Magic attempted 29% of their overall shots behind the 3-point line, the most out of any team for that playoff season. In the 2019 playoffs, the Houston Rockets shot 51% behind the line. 3-point shots have taken over the NBA in a way that's totally changing how professional basketball works.
That is crazy. When you look at it like that, that's tough. But that just shows the evolution of how skilled today's players are, man. It's crazy.
The NBA introduced the 3-point line in 1979 as a way to boost points and reduce congestion under the net.
Problem you have is that there is no player in the NBA at that point who can shoot a three-pointer on a consistent basis. None.
David Berry is a sports statistician who is all about the numbers.
Either you can measure it or you can't measure it. And if you're not measuring it, then you're just making it up.
In the 1970s, basketball teams were used to focusing on 2-point goals, layups, dunks, and some mid-range shots. Shooting from far out was an unnecessary risk without reward.
All right, let me close this window, man. Y'all probably hear stuff outside. Hopefully that made a difference. Alrighty.
If you were Steph Curry in 1978 and you started launching 25-foot shots, your coach would bench you. The shot from 5 feet away is 2 points. The game we play is throw.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
If you were Steph Curry in 1978 and you started launching 25-foot shots, your coach.
Yeah, that makes, because you're talking about, like, what's the point of doing that if all you're going to get is 2 points? You feel me?
Bench. The shot from 5 feet away is 2 points. The game we play is throw the ball down to the guy who's 7 feet tall and let him shoot a 3-footer.
3-point shots were hard. Players weren't used to making them. And after Chris Ford of the Celtics sank the first official 3-pointer in the NBA, not much changed. According to the stats website, basketballreference.com, in the whole 1979 to 1980 season, all teams in the league attempted almost 7,500 shots. Only 227 of those were 3-point attempts, and they only scored 64 of them. It wasn't until the 86-87 season that the league made over 100 successful 3-pointers across one season. In the 90s, the NBA tinkered with the arc of the line, moving it closer to the net in an attempt to make scoring more points easier. Players like Michael Jordan and Steve Kerr took advantage of it, but it didn't
I didn't know that. I did not know that. Wow.
produce the intended effect. The league moved it back just a few years later. By 1999 to 2000, 20 years after the line was introduced, the entire league attempted just over 1,000 threes out of almost 7,000 shots. Fast forward to 2018-2019, and that number is over 2,600. That's an increase of 150%.
Man.
That shift has to do with one big statistic.
33% from 3 is as good as 50% from 2.
In other words, if you can make 1/3 of your shots from the three-point line, it's as good as making half your shots closer to the net.
Hey, it's crazy to think about that. Stephen Curry he's really an evolutional player, bro. Obviously, not one player will impact everything changing the league, but I feel like Stephen Curry was definitely part of that impact, bro. That's crazy, man. Shout out Stephen Curry.
As the NBA has skewed more towards analytics, it became a factor of like, we should just be shooting threes. Like, twos don't matter nearly as much anymore.
James Dater is a sports journalist at SB Nation, who's written features on the three-point line.
Volume shooting from 3 ends up netting you a better result than going from 2, assuming that you have the shooters to be able to support it.
Daryl Morey, a longtime basketball exec who's obsessed with statistics, is often credited with figuring this out. In 2014, he instructed the D-League Rio Grande Valley Vipers to cut out long two-point shots and shoot more threes. At the time, NBA teams were averaging just over 20 three-point attempts per game. The Vipers started shooting almost 50. And Morey's strategy worked. They ranked first in the league in offense, and it was clear that they were going to transform the game.
Oh, word. Okay. But that makes sense, though. Like, why shoot a long 2 when you just literally a step away from hitting a 3?
What happens if you get 5 of those guys and put them on your roster at once? So suddenly, instead of having all these Swiss Army knives on a court, you've got a bunch of scalpels, but they're all doing what you want them to do, which is like, let's hit more shots from 3.
Soon, the NBA latched on.
It's tough, too, because that could also be... Nah. If they have the ability to slash and still get physical down low, you know what I'm saying, still finish and still hit mid-range shots, but have an excellent three-point shooting shot, then yeah, they're unguardable. It's crazy.
And three-point shooting skyrocketed, as did three-point successes. In that 2019 playoff season, the Houston Rockets became the first team to shoot more threes than twos. This tool that started out as a tough shot to make more points is now standard practice.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a very real chance this is completely breaking the game of basketball.
Right,
the fear is, do we lose that kind of magic and that element of, here are 2 teams approaching the game of basketball with very different approaches, and let's see what happens when these styles clash, versus 2 teams that it just becomes a who's able to shoot more threes and who.
I see what he's talking about. Dang. Yeah, because then it would turn into more of a three-point contest, you know? Just which team can shoot better than just the style of playing. You know, how they get those 2 points, how they do what they do, you feel me? To score. I see.
Is able to hit more threes, and that's kind of it.
This becomes a problem when your team can't hit enough threes. Even Morey, who started the three-point revolution, has run into this issue.
Now he's managing a team in the 76ers where they don't have those three-point shooters. So now...
You know what I'm saying? I got a good idea about who don't be shooting threes, but that's all I'm going to say about that.
Suddenly like, well, you know, we can't compete because our best players are interior players.
And even when you do have three-point shooters, there's another problem.
We could get to that point that it's just boring because everyone's trying to do the same thing.
There are a few options to fix these issues. The NBA can move the three-point line back to make it harder, but that might not help forever.
The players are simply going to learn how to shoot that longer distance, and very soon you will find yourself back in exactly the same position, but now they're going to be shooting 26-footers. Damian
Logo Lillard already does this. In this clip from the 2021 NBA All-Star Game, you can see him shoot so far back from the line, he's actually closer to the half-court logo.
Let's see, who are logo shooters? You got Trae Young, who's a logo shooter, Damian Lillard, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant can shoot from the logo. I'm talking about like consistent. Because of the rule change of not having certain fouls being called, that does help, hurt players like Dame, James Harden, players who shoot. That's another player, James Harden. Players who shoot from a certain amount of range, and it's like if they're not on, they're not making their shots, then they'll usually go to the rack, get fouled, and then find their touch from the free throw, so that way they could be on fire again. But because of the foul change, it's preventing them from going to the foul line, which means they're going to keep on getting more and more cold, which means they're just going to have to figure it out on themselves on how to adjust. I do like the foul change because it does make the game more physical, and it also has players get certain buckets differently than just having to go to the foul line all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. That's crazy.
They can move the three-point line closer, which would decentivize deep threes and encourage a tighter-knit game like there was in the past. They could...
I see what you're saying, but it's like, I feel like it's making it more easier.
The rim, making all shots harder to sink. Or there could be more drastic changes.
There are some wild suggestions like limiting the amount of threes a team can attempt in a quarter, and then kind of like having a lightning round at the end of the game where suddenly you can just shoot as many as you want for full point.
See, that's... I don't.
NBA has no official plans to change rules at the moment. And even though there's a lot of commentary about the three-point line, the statistics ultimately tell another story.
I have lots of data on gate revenue, so I simply looked at what drives gate revenue. Do teams that shoot more threes have more or less demand? And the answer is it has no effect at all. Fans don't care. The vast majority of your fans are watching because they're emotionally attached to the team. That's what's important.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I'm not sure if the game will ever get boring, but I could see how it could. Very interesting. Just want to take a minute just to look at this. But, yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this video, man. Hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all stay well. Stay blessed. Stay healthy. And also stay motivated, man. Stay disciplined. Even when you're tired, keep going. Real talk. Love us very much, man. Peace. I'm out.